And the reality is that all of the fucking people that went out to the suburbs to get away from the cities got bored of the suburbs. And they're all moving back. And part of their moving back is to get us the fuck out. And the International Downtown Association that supports the business improvement districts that are running our downtown corridors, and don't think for a second that they aren't. The security in Union Square Park is business improvement district, not city and county. And they run that neighborhood. The security down around the Embarcadero, those ambassadors as they call them and shit with their little jackets, the little narcs with their fucking microphones that will come up to a homeless person that is selling a street sheet or panhandling or whatever and say, you can't be here. Now the street sheet dude can get away with saying, yeah, I can, asshole, I'm not selling advertising and I didn't pay for the paper. But most of the people that are out there hustling, they don't know that they can stand up to that shit. They have no idea. And they leave. Who the hell are these guys to tell anybody that you can't be in this neighborhood? You can't be on this public sidewalk. You can't be in this public space. This is public. We used to call these spaces neighborhoods. They're now called business improvement districts. That's not semantics. There's a policy behind it, there's a mindset behind it, there's an agenda behind it, and none of us by ourselves are going to fight that. Or at least going to win that fight. We're all going to fight it. But only when we join forces, and only when we combine our resources, when we take our skill set, when we take, we use artwork because we feel like, who the fuck wants to hear speeches? Or if I put up 6 papers we've written, who would even look at it? T-shirts, artwork, bumper stickers, the Brass Liberation Orchestra playing at your events, taking over the fucking Union Square and doing a theater thing where we arrested all of the heads of the bid districts. That shit's fun. We need to have parties. More parties, less lectures, less demos. More artwork, more videos, more music. We need to turn this into a kick-ass, peace-driven party, because you can't have a violent party and still bring your immigrant friends that may or may not be documented. They are not going to bring their kids or jeopardize their family in order to go to a demo where they're going to end up in jail, where they're going to get deported. So you want to be inclusive. You want to fucking bring your shit together. You want to have a blast. So, April 1st of last year, we did a 17-city right to exist. That's what we called it. And we ended up in New York and New Orleans and LA, and, we got a beautiful collage out of it. And New Orleans, the cops have this horrible habit of shooting young black kids. So that was the focus of their demo. But it was still about those kids' right to exist in their community. And what the fuck you doing to these kids? And in LA, it was about, in Skid Row, they have a thing called Safer Cities Initiative. If you think Gavin Newsom's quality of life crap is brutal, go to LA. Go to Skid Row, where from City Hall to the Staples Center, now that they redid the Staples Center, they are just getting rid of everybody. And this is like a 28-block radius. And they have decided this is Yuppie Row, and are just removing people, brutally removing people. And they're using one of the little fact sheets we passed out. They're using loitering, sitting, and number one, above all else, sleeping. So sleeping, sitting, and standing still are criminal actions. They're criminal offense. And this is not, these people, they are going to jail. They are getting tickets, which then lead to citations when you don't pay the ticket. And they have no right to legal representation over the ticket. So they get prosecuted for not paying the ticket. They are literally sitting in jail over the same shit that is going on here. And the idea of LA Ken and the San Francisco motherfucker, all of us like trying to create this organization was like, individually, we have to fight. You have to. You can't sit there and say, oh, I'm not going to fight the local shit. I'm just going to do this over here. There is no either or. If you're not legitimate enough to stand up and fight for what is happening on your block, in your community, in what you're doing, then you got no right to be a part of a bigger movement. You know, you have to. And in order to connect that, because you're up to your ass in alligators and you're trying to drain the swamp, in order to make that happen, you can't just wait till your organization is rich and shit. You know, you need to have a support system that does the artwork, that makes the posters, that does the t-shirts, that figures out the messaging, that tries to bring some consistent messaging to what we're all saying, because we are up against a machine called the International Downtown Association. There's a group called New Cities America, based out of San Diego. If that isn't a straight up, and these guys are unabashed. They are actually proud of the fact that they are creating new cities in America. And the number one security group for business improvement districts across the country is called Block by Block. They ain't hiding the shit. Their agenda is straight up. In Union Square alone, the city and county of San Francisco pays $3 million a year in membership dues. No, I'm sorry, in Civic Center. For publicly owned space, which is a unique concept, I think, depending on how you look at this shit. I think it's fucking unique. But to a business improvement district that then manages and runs Civic Center. They're paying over $400,000 a year at Union Square. To a privately run business entity that then runs the gardening, security, and maintenance. 74% goes to security. The rest goes to maintenance and to advertising. But 74% goes to security.